Are these waffles then?
Waffles. And what I say?
It's like no waffle I've ever seen.
Wafer.
It's a wafer, right? Yeah, that's more like it.
It's like
A
traditional.
waffle is thicker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thicker. This is like.
Well, I'm covered in dandruff. Well,
but
I've been smelling all the egg smell, which is good, you know.
We have some questions for you.
Yes, we
prepared some.
So.
Oh, I have it.
So, Mr. Ben, we want to ask you at the beginning. Yes, I'm very. This is what interests me. What does your close family or your closest family think about your films?
They don't tend to watch them.
Really?
Yeah. So my mum only watches the nice ones, but she won't watch anything with too much violence in it.
So
she's never seen Kill List or.
And why is killing in your movies?
Oh, I don't know.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So,
I have no idea. It just happens that way, you know.
Yeah, because each one of your feature films is different than others, like the different genres. So what do you think connects them, or what is the connection, or the
I
thing
think
that
I think that they. When I started making films, I didn't want to get stuck making the same thing. So that's why I've made lots of different movies, and I really like cinema. So it's very exciting to work with different stories. But what connects them is, I think that they're different genres, but they're inevitably seen through my eyes, so they become similar. But it's my kind of how I enjoy those films myself. So that's what makes them they have the same DNA running through them, basically.
Yeah, it's very. The atmosphere in this film is very characteristic, like hypnotic almost. Don't you think that is maybe for some kinds of viewers of these films dangerous to push them at the edge of this emotional, because for example, Killing List at the ending is very hypnotic and very tough.
Yeah.
And I was on the screening where some of the women part of this audience was shocked. So it is the intention of you as a director to push the limits or something like that?
Yeah, but I think that that's what's fun about or interesting about cinema is that you go in and you have an experience. If you don't have an experience, if you don't feel emotion, then you've kind of failed, as a filmmaker.
Can I ask something?
Yes, something was prepared.
It was really nice, isn't it?
Tasty.
Nice.
Yeah, I like it.
Maybe, your latest film, The Field in England, is really interesting, and there is some features in this film which interest us. For example, what is your relationship to hallucinogenic mushrooms?
Yeah, I mean, I've always enjoyed hallucinogenic mushrooms, and I don't take them so much now because I'm old. But when I was a kid, I took them a lot, and I thought it was great. So, but I like it because it's a natural thing. It's not cooked up in some lab in Switzerland. It's a thing you can find in the ground.
Sorry, what is your favorite Slovak movie?
My favourite Slovak movie, I think, is I'd have to consult my book.
Book. Oh, here is the book.
No, not that one. No. I'll just consult my book.
Best of Slovak film.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hold up. Yeah. I don't know any of these films. It's really embarrassing. Oh, that looks good. I think this one is my favourite one.
Ah, yes.
Okay.
I've seen all of her films. She's brilliant.
So you started your beginnings. You started in advertisements or in the.
Kind of, yeah. I kind of everything at the same time. So I was doing TV and adverts and online stuff.
Oh, alright.
So it wasn't just the ads to start with. It was all sorts.
May I ask,
Yes, of course. you're
what
into the-
is your worst movie of your movies that are shooting on this festival? What is the worst? What?
Yeah,
Which of the films that you're showing here is the worst one? You're
yes,
saying?
His English is even worse than my so.
Yeah.
He's
No.
trying to ask,
I want
which
to
one
see.
of your films is like.
Oh, which one of my films is the worst?
Yes.
Oh, well, it depends what your taste is. So if you don't like horror, then Kill List is the worst one. But if you don't like comedy, then Sightseers is easily the worst one. And if you don't like black and white historical dramas about taking magic mushrooms, then Field in England would easily be the worst one of the bunch.
So, in some ways, each of your films is worse.
In a way, yeah. For someone, yeah. That's what I found. But that's what you find if you make anything. The more you make things, the more you find that people don't like them. But that's opinions, which are very much like, arseholes, isn't it? Because everybody's got one.
Now, can you say what the best, the connection, if you can say one thing? Maybe it's your kind of trademark or your...
I don't know. I mean, what's the connection between all the films?
Yeah.
I think I could only say that the true connection is that when we've made the films that we've tried to be true to the characters and tried to be true to the story, and I can do that from my own point of view. And you can't. That's all you can do, And when you do that, then certain attitudes come out, and sometimes you don't even know yourself. You find it's a kind of form of quite expensive psychoanalysis, and you find out what you actually thought you meant rather than what you set out to do.
And do you see are you realizing you have something like your handwriting? What you are good in?
Well, trying to not do that. I'm trying to keep away from it being identifiable, because I think once you get into styles, then they become like a support for your work, and that then stops you experimenting. So, but at the same time, when I look back on my own movies, I see stuff that's similar in them, and I'm not necessarily happy about that. It's just the way it happens.
And I have still one question, if I can. I have seen the documentary Room 237.
Yeah.
And I realized Kubrick was really trying to see the techniques about to catch the subconscious of people. And are you also studying this thing and trying to not only through the film speech talk, but trying to do something subconscious?
Yeah, I think the difference is that when you look at cinema, cinema comes from two places. One is it was like a fairground ride that they had, which was film, and you go in and you pay and you'd see this thing, and it would be like a train coming towards the audience, and everyone would go ooh, and they pay money, and that would be it. Then it turned into the second part of cinema, which is basically they thought that they could film theatre, and they'd film theatre, and so cinema became a bit like theatre. But then you've got these two poles. So, the Transformer movies and movies like that are still the ride movies, and serious cinema and kind of like very, adaptations of books and all that kind of stuff is the film theatre. And then in the middle you have pure cinema, which is the mixture of the two, that does only things that only cinema can do. So it's not as fully vicarious as the ride cinema, but it's not as staid and straight as the film theatre cinema. So I think that's where what I'm trying to do is kind of, and that's what I think Kubrick was doing as well, was that it was using cinema as a dream, and it is like as close as you get to a waking dream, where you go into an environment, a dark environment, and then they roll this thing out in front of you, and you experience, and it's the only time in your life that you experience time jumps, unless you're made unconscious or you go to sleep, because a cut is only happens in a dream, and it only happens in cinema. So.
It is coincident, or just you want to have your first movie here of your foreign films will be Battlefield Field in England, and this is like one of your movie which opens our festival for us?
What was the question?
I don't ask anything.
It was a statement. Very good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you
The
very
answer is yes.
If you want to say something about that, okay, that's right. But
Well, I'm really happy to be here, and it's great that it's opening the festival, and I'm very much looking forward to getting my Respect award, which is you know, it will certainly be something I'll be using in my house with my wife and child.
yes.
I will
Do
be
you
holding it like that at them, going, respect me, you know.
But you also started like actors, like us, or no? Like actor. You
No,
have
I
some
didn't
acting-
start like you because I wasn't very good. So
Oh.
I was quite poor at it, you know. So I've done a tiny bit of acting, and I'm glad I did it because I could see how terrifying it was and how difficult it was, you know. And my respect for actors went through the roof after that. Am I covered in dandruff yet? Oh, it's the stuff off the thing, isn't it?
Practical joke.
Yeah, I know, I see, but I am actually covered in
No.
in wafer.
We have maybe one of the last questions. What makes you come?
Porn.
To
Usually.
and what made you come here?
Oh, sorry. Oh.
Made you?
Um,
Made you?
What the organizers promised you?
Promise you. Was the
Oh,
organizer? I promise
Because we
you
are
to
trying. Oh.
Yes.
why did I come here?
Why?
Because I was asked in a really nice way, and I
Oh.
respond well to
Like on the knee.
no, just in an email.
This is nice way.
Yeah, well, it was just very nicely phrased.
So being nice to people is still worth it. Worth it.
Definitely, yeah. That always works.
Worth it. Sorry, my English is bad. So you are the nice kind of director that is nice to actors and stuff, or?
But sorry, don't answer this question because we don't have much time for you. There's lots of other guests and other
Okay,
people who
cool, man.
deserve something like you deserve. We take our
Foto si dajte spoločné.
photo. Oh,
Okay.
Rastio, can you please know this photo already? I take.
After
Okay,
photo you take butterfly. Can like you see me?
That wafer's really sorted me out. I was feeling a bit sick.
You want to?
Not yet. After the flash. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Cool.
Okay, but the last question, because we are collecting the answers for a question. Not yet, please.
Not yet.
Well,
Yeah.
well, you can have your wafers.
The question was, what makes you come on film festivals? What should film festivals do
Oh, right.
to invite filmmakers? Like maybe generally or personally? What you...
I don't know. I mean, I kind of, at the beginning, the thing I've had a problem with is I've made too many films too quick. So I spent years, like the last 3 or 4 years, going festival after festival, and it's not quite as good as when you just go, you make a film and then you don't have anything to do for years, and then you can take more time over it. But I think, and generally I kind of look at the festival and think, if I haven't been there before, I'm kind of interested in going, and so I'll go, which sounds a bit self-serving, but it's true. Yeah, I mean, I think the fact that they were showing all 4 films here was really interesting to me. So I was kind of, I've never had that when I think about an audience kind of discovering all the movies at once. And also, again, because of the films coming out quite fast, I find that they haven't, and they're such small films usually, they take a long time to penetrate into the culture of other countries. So in the UK, like, they're pretty well known, but a little bit in France, tiny bit in Germany, but then the rest of Europe, it's hardly, I don't think none of them have been released in Italy, for instance, So when it's shown somewhere and it's like a whole new audience, then it's really interesting to go and see what the reaction is. But it's odd as well, because they're not designed to be seen one after the other. So when they're shown in a big lump like that, it's kind of, you wonder what people will make of it. But,
Thank you very much.
Can you